Ciao moi noi! Tet trung tu! Hello everybody and a happy Mid-Autumn Festival. For those of you that don't know, it's a holiday that is celebrated a lot in East and Southeast Asia. If you Google it, it says China, and that they celebrate very similar holidays in countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos. But yeah, I would say it's pretty much all of Southeast and East Asia, because I know that they do it in Korea and Japan as well. I think it's just because China has, they're big and everything like that, so everybody always wants to say that it's a Chinese thing, but it's all those countries over there. But yeah, I been celebrating it because I got this rip away calendar where you rip away each day, and I got that calendar from the Vietnamese market in Tampa. And today's calendar day is all fancy, and it says the Tet Trung Tu and Happy Mid-Autumn Festival, and it actually has little cartoon versions of these festival cakes, which these cakes, I love them. We only get them on special occasions, but this one came from Linh Hoa Vietnamese market in Tampa, and you can see it's got the character writing on the front of it. And this particular one is just made out of durian and egg yolk. They have different kinds that are made from other things. Sometimes it could still have durian in it and other things as well. But that's what I typically, when you get these cakes, is during the Tet New Year and the Mid-Autumn Festival, things like that. So I also saw that they have some sort of special Chinese brewed wine that people typically drink with these festival cakes, but I couldn't find it. Went to the Asian market nearby where I live, they didn't have it, and that's pretty much the only major Asian market anywhere close to Spring Hill, Florida. So I mean, there's a couple little ones, but I didn't think they'd have it either. So I just got this sake. It's a sake that's a product of Japan. I've had it before. It's good. There she is right there. Hananamai Sake Katana, product of Japan. So I just had this little setup right here. With, I poured most of the bottle in here. Poured a little shot of it. I haven't drank it yet, I just got it ready, with my little cake, which I haven't touched yet either. But I like to savor these cakes because they're really good, and I don't get them all the time, like on any kind of regular basis. Yeah, I lit some going with the kind of like a, in Vietnam you can research this too. There is a lot of Buddhism, but there's also like they kind of mix it, and I saw this too. I experienced it. They kind of mix it with what they call like a folk religion. And there's a lot of praying to ancestors that have passed away, which I did that with my wife in Quang Tri province in Vietnam. And we had already been married here. Oh, careful, don't knock that over. You can take your spaghetti back, but don't knock over the glass stuff. Thank you. So bye-bye. So we had already been married here, but like a year and a half after that, we got married in Quang Tri, which is central Vietnam. You can look it up. A bunch of stuff about the war will come up, but I love Quang Tri. It's beautiful. It's out in the country. Her family, they live right on this river in Quang Tri. And there's also a cemetery where a whole bunch of her family's buried. And that's what we did. A couple days, like the whole wedding was like a 4-day ordeal, and she had like 4 different dresses and stuff. But it was a big wedding, and it was really, really, I've never experienced anything like it before. But we went to the cemetery, and we had like incense, and you would go to a grave of one of her ancestors. We went to her great grandma's grave, and you light the incense. What we did was you light the incense, and there's a picture of them at the front of this. It's a big grave, like it's a big rectangle with a small like rectangle in the middle, and you can walk into it, and at the front there's like a wall, and there's a shelf, and there's like a picture of the person, and you can leave like stuff like this, these little cups, they'll leave them with like tea in them, and they'll leave packages of crackers and stuff like that, like as an offering, and cookies and whatever. But a lot of people like incense too. And what we did was, when we lit the incense, you would light it and you stick it in the little, like, they'd have like a metal dish or something with sand in it. You stick it in there, and then you would bow 3 times like that. And we did that at a lot of graves in the cemetery. But I have also been told and have read that you can do that at home with the incense, and just think about loved ones of yours that have passed on. So I do that from time to time. I don't know, it's just something that I like to do. I did that today, thought about, my father, my buddy Roy that passed away in 2020, other people, of course. And then I also have this, if you're in Vietnam and you ever see US $100 bills on the ground, don't get too excited, because they sell big fake packages of them. And the people, I saw this at a Buddhist temple in Hue City, which is about a, 30 to 1 hour drive, depending on traffic, away from Quang Tri. But they'll go down to this place in the temple where it actually meets the river, and they'll throw the bills out into the water, and sometimes they'll just throw them out on the street. When my daughter was in the hospital last year for a big operation, I had gone to this Asian market to get food for my wife and I, and I saw these big packs of fake Vietnamese $500,000 bills, which is like equivalent to like $20 American. It's Vietnam's biggest note that they have. But I bought a pack thinking to be funny. And when I brought it back, my wife was like, no. That is for the dead people. And that is for the dead people. You have to go outside right now. And I'm like, what? And she goes, you have to go throw it out on the street. And I told her, I said, Lynn, we're in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. I can't just go throw a bunch of stuff out on the street, And I said, well, can I burn it? She said, yeah, that's fine. You can burn it. So this pack was huge. And that was coming up, it'll be a year ago in a month from yesterday. So it was almost a year ago. And I still have a bunch of those fake bills. I keep them up on my shelf where I keep my gold bowl that I burn my incense in, and it's up there. I got some of my buddy's ashes up there. I have a Buddha statue. I have rocks from Quang Tri, and I have my dad's picture and a bunch of stuff like that. So I burn the incense up there, and I have the 500,000 bills are up there too. So the gold bowl that I burned the incense in, it was literally the next day at the hospital. I went back to that Asian market in St. Pete. And I wanted to get a present for my daughter is what I was trying to do, what I was trying to accomplish. Because I thought it would be funny to give her the fake money. And then so I found out that wasn't good. So I bought this gold bowl. And it's about like this big around. It's got little handles and a nice little base. And it's got, it does have like Chinese characters on the front of it. I just thought it'd be something cool that she could have in her room, growing up. And be like, yeah, I bought you that when you were in the hospital. As soon as I came in, my wife was like, no, that's for the dead people. Don't give that to her. I'm like, well, she could just hold it for a second. No, take it outside. That's for the dead people only. I'm like, man, everything I buy is just for dead people. I had no idea, but yeah, she was not happy with me because, at the time, our daughter was going through, Kayla was going through a major operation. But it was, she's all better now. It was CDH, which is congenital diaphragmatic herniation. Basically, all of her intestines were up here, next to her lungs and her heart. So they just had to cut her open, pull everything back down through the hole in her diaphragm, stitch that shut, and then stitch her back in a nutshell. But it was rare with her, is what they told us, because usually they know about that before the baby's even born or shortly after. And we, of course, had all the prenatal care and everything and took her to all her doctor's appointments after she was born, like all the check marks ones you're supposed to do with the shots and everything, and nobody ever knew about it. And we found out when she was like probably 20 months old. She was almost 2, you know. So, oh, she's watching the computer on the chair over there. I'm hearing people. I'm like, who's walking into the house right now? Anyways, excuse me. My allergies are just killing me. Also, my acid reflux, so, you know, I'm always clearing my throat and coughing. It's been like that for a long time. But, yeah, I'm gonna bite into this tech cake and drink a little bit of this sake. But first, I got a quick story for y'all. So, in Vietnam, when you ride a motorbike, which is what most people drive, you have to wear a helmet, some sort of helmet. Most of what you see is similar to this. I was always complaining how the helmets were too small for my head, and it was hard to buckle them, and like half the time I'm like, man, this thing's on my head and it's buckled, but if I fall, it's not gonna do me any good because it's like sitting on top of my head. So I was at a house party with my wife's cousin. We were like in the outskirts of Saigon, and at this point, I'd already been there for about a month, and I only had a couple days left before I was coming home. So we're drinking and eating all this really good food, having a great time. And this guy walked in just in regular clothes. Come to find out, he was a traffic cop. But we shook hands, and we were drinking together, having a good time. And then some other guy, I was telling him, now I'm not like 100% fluent in Vietnamese, but I would say I'm at the very beginning of the intermediate level, especially with my wife and her. Hey, baby, you want me to tie this apron on you? Especially with my wife and her family, because it just seems like it just seems like they can understand me better, which I guess is normal. But my point is I was using the translator app to talk to this dude, and so I was telling him, I'm like, hey man, look, these helmets suck. And he's like, why? And I said, they're just all too small for me, you know. He says, hold on. There you go, baby. He goes, hold on, I'll be right back. He lived like a couple houses down or whatever. And he comes back with this, and I'm like, oh man, it's still a little small, but it was bigger than a lot of the other ones that I had. I didn't know, and looking at it afterwards, I figured out it's got these little things right here where like a visor used to be, which isn't that big of a deal. But on the back, I could see that they had taken it off, but it used to be stenciled in big yellow letters, and it's CSCD. I think this, I could be wrong, but I think the CD stands for Codon. But I know for sure the CS is CANSAT, which is police. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I got a out-of-service policeman's helmet. You know what I mean? That's kick-ass, man. Because I tried to take pictures with cops and firefighters and military people over there, and none of them would do it. So I was happy to, because I took work shirts of mine from the department I work for to trade, but the firefighters over there, they were like, we don't do that. And they wouldn't even let me, they were like, you need to leave. The guy was nice, but he was like, I'm sorry, but you need to leave right now. So, anyhow, my wife stayed an extra 10 days to spend time with her father, which I understood completely. So her great aunt that lives here but is from Vietnam, she had came with us because every time a family member that lives in this area goes to Vietnam, grandma wants to go as well. So me and grandma were flying back together, and so I said goodbye to Lynn, my wife, in the airport in Saigon, and we went through security. She's not with us anymore. It's just me and grandma, and I'm pushing grandma on a wheelchair. So we come up to this checkpoint, and it was a man and a woman, and they were both in like a military uniform, but they were doing like security, you know. And I had this helmet tied to the strap. I had it like this, tied to my backpack strap. And the woman didn't speak any English, but the guy did. But she was talking to him and saying something and looking at the helmet. And he said, The guy said, hold on, whoa, 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 you're gonna knock my table over. Daddy's almost done. He said, she says she wants to know where you got this helmet because this is a policeman's helmet. And why do you have it? And I was just like, look, I don't know what to tell you. I said, some guy just gave it to me, man. I said, you know, because you got to have a helmet on. I said, some dude just gave it to me. We were partying the other night. I don't know what to tell you there, Chief. And so she says something else to him. And he looks at me and he says, there you go, baby. He says, that he didn't say, there you go, baby. That was me talking to my daughter. But she was asking where I got this helmet from because it's a policeman's helmet and why do I have it? I'm telling him, look, somebody just gave it to me, man. And hold on, I gotta put her chef's hat on. Come here. Here, let me put my helmet down and I'll put your chef's hat on. I'm almost done with the story. Oh my goodness, you're gonna look so cute in this chef's hat. If I can get it on your head, you have a big head like your daddy. That's why I had problems with these helmets in Vietnam. She hasn't been to Vietnam yet because of the COVID. Here, look at the camera. Wee, so cute. So anyways, once I told him, like, I don't know, some dude just gave it to me. I was wearing it as my normal helmet because you have to wear one. He told her that and she said something back and he goes, she says that you should give this helmet to her because she's a policewoman and you're not police. And at that point, I'm nervous, right? I'm like, I really wanted it, you know. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna take it home with me. And he kind of made a little bit of a face at me. And I had bought this statue of Buddha to give to my buddy Roy's wife as a gift because she's a Vietnamese woman as well, and she's a Buddhist. And anyways, he grabbed the box. He's kind of angry, like, right? He's like, what's this? I said, man, it's a statue of Buddha. I said, you can keep it if you want to. And he just kind of threw it back in the bag and he said, all right, go. But yeah, this helmet, man, it almost got me hemmed up. But I mean, if it would have came down to it, I would have given it up, but I really didn't want to. I was happy as hell to get this helmet. I still think it's cool, you know? But anyways, I'll go ahead and try out a bite of this cake. You want a piece? It's saurin. Saurin is durian in Vietnamese. Here, you want some? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look special inside, but there's an egg yolk in there as well. And that's the holiday cake. That's the story of me getting a police helmet. I'll take a little shot right here, just a shot of sake, not vodka. And that's me celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival. Tet Trung too. All right, come on, time bit. That's goodbye in Vietnamese.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Kayla, you want to get in front of the camera and say bye-bye?
Yeah.
Here, come over here where Daddy was sitting. Look, show everybody your chef's outfit. Isn't she so pretty? Say hi. Daddy's not gonna let you fall. Blow kisses. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.